Welcome to the magical land of shoe surveys. I'm Nate Coombs.
I'm R.A. Hansen.
I'm Mike McPartland.
I'm Victor Nguyen.
And I'm Kevin Liu.
In this project, we wanted to try and ascertain what, if any, are the main motivations behind the purchase of athletic shoes. The market for athletic shoes is seemingly unending, and furthermore, since shoes are basically a ubiquitous product, we tried to find out the most important factors people ponder when purchasing a particular athletic shoe. We collected age and gender information from our respondents. The average age of our respondents was 29.29 years. And of the 92 people who chose to respond for their gender, 57 responded male and 35 responded female. So generally, there were more men taking the survey than there were women. Now let's throw it over to R.A.
In Section 1, each participant answered each question based on a 1 to 8 scale, 1 being no importance and 8 being the most important. According to our survey, comfort is the overwhelming factor that drives the purchase of an athletic shoe, with 62 of 100 respondents ranking this as the most important. Shoe durability also proved to be a significant driver in the decision process, with 41 of 100 people surveyed stating that this was the most important. Brand recognition also proved to be important and was scored 7 out of 8 by 24 of the 100 respondents. Since we were discussing shoes' ability to increase athletic performance, we were surprised that this aspect in making the shoe purchase did not rank higher in importance. This could mean that the respondents may not believe that any shoe has the ability to make a significant impact on athletic performance. Our survey uncovered that the country where the shoe was manufactured was of least concern to our respondents, with 46 of 100 survey scoring this component as a 1. We were somewhat surprised to discover that in this era of environmental awareness, the impact on the environment was of little concern to those surveyed and scored only 1 out of 8 with 42 of 100 individuals.
And here's Mike.
The next set of questions targeted the effects that commercials have on consumers' decision to purchase. When asked whether or not a commercial they liked affected their decision to buy, approximately 47% of respondents said they were more likely to purchase the shoe versus only 3% that said they would be less likely. 50% of respondents said they were indifferent and that it would not affect their purchasing decision at all. When subjects were asked whether or not their decision changed if they detested a certain brand's commercial, data collected here also revealed a similar correlation. It showed that 48% of polled subjects were less likely to buy the certain shoe if they disliked the commercial versus only 2% who said they would be more likely. Over 52% replied that they were indifferent and that the shoe's commercial had no bearing whatsoever on their decision to buy. The data revealed that commercial quality has a significant effect on the customer's decision to purchase. Nearly 1/2, or 1 out of every 2 customers, places a great deal of importance on the content and presentation of a particular brand's commercial. So much so, in fact, that it actually affects the outcome of whether or not they choose to buy that particular shoe. This should serve as a tentative warning to shoe companies looking to advertise and market their shoe on mainstream television, because lasting appeal can make all the difference when it comes to strong sales numbers.
Now I'm going to pass it off to Vic.
The question was posed to participants that if you heard on the news that a certain shoe company uses sweatshop labor, how would it affect your shoe purchasing decision? 54% of the people surveyed said that they would be less likely to purchase shoes from that particular shoe company. This is interesting because 62% of the people named Nike as the most preferred shoe brand. The survey also showed results that 67% of participants would be indifferent towards a particular shoe company if they read an article about a charity event they hosted. The results were interesting because many companies put a lot of effort to keep a positive image, but according to the survey, it does not affect the majority of consumers' purchasing decisions. And here's Kevin.
To better understand what consumers' favorite shoe brands were, we asked respondents to rank Nike, Adidas, Reebok, Asics, Converse, Puma, and New Balance in order from their most preferred to least preferred brand. Nike was the overwhelming favorite, garnering 62% of first place responses. Asics had 12% of respondents, while Adidas finished with 11% of the first place responses. Reebok was the only brand who were not ranked number 1 by any one of our respondents. While Asics was second in first place ranking, they received the most least preferred responses at 26%. Converse received the second most least preferred responses at 21%. Adidas received the least amount of last place responses at 2%, while favorite Nike had only 5% of the last place vote. Respondents were later asked what the average price they were willing to pay for a new pair of athletic shoes was. Shockingly, 32% of respondents said they would only be willing to pay $50 to $75 for a pair of new athletic shoes. Today, the average price for a new pair is over $100, and only 20% of respondents stated that they were willing to pay $100 to $150 for that pair, while only 6% of respondents were willing to pay over $150. However, 31% of respondents stated that they would pay $75 to $100 for a new pair, while 13% of respondents were looking for a super bargain by only willing to pay $49. Based on our survey, 76% of respondents were willing to pay $100 or less, which means their best luck at finding a new pair would be at an outlet-type store. Back to you, Nate.
We also asked respondents if they were loyal to a particular brand of shoe over any other. 53 people responded that they were loyal to a particular brand, and 31 of those 53 responses ranked Nike as the brand that the respondent was loyal to. Second place was Adidas with 9. 3 people chose Under Armour and 2 chose K-Swiss, despite those not even being on the list. In the future, there would be a few more things we would like to take into consideration for a survey like this. First of all, we probably should have included a zip code form so we could find out where these responses are coming from, because I think it's valid to say that an international study would come up with different numbers. I don't think Nike would probably be the most important or the most popular brand of shoe. Also, we probably should have conducted this survey outside of a shoe store, or at least in a shopping area. That way we didn't come up with just random information, which it seems like we might have for the purposes of this survey. Also, people didn't really put down realistic shoe prices, and we probably should have made that easier for them to do instead of asking them just what they would have liked to pay for shoes, which isn't what they really cost. Well, we hope that you learn more about the motivation behind athletic shoe purchases. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.